Good evening, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to join our virtual town board meeting for March. There's Frank. There you go. I welcome you all, and I hope that you had a good February. I hope we've turned the corner, and we're pushing into some warmer spring weather pretty soon, I hope. It'll be great to at least sit outside. We still can't go to too many places, but it'll be nice to get outside at least for a little bit. So let's go ahead and start our meeting as we usually do, even though we're virtual. Whether you want to stand or not, I leave that up to you, but I would like to go ahead and recite the Pledge of Allegiance if we could. Okay, thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States
of America,
and
the republic
which
which
stands
stands
one
nation,
nation, under God,
indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
justice for all.
Thank you. Dave, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you have any remarks that you'd like to make as our honorary chaplain?
Certainly could, Jack. So let us bow our heads in contemplation and prayerful thought. Dear Father, we ask your blessing on these proceedings tonight. We ask that you guide this group to do their work diligently and consider the best for the community. We ask your blessing on all those who pass through this town and village every day on their way to work and to school. We ask your blessing on all those who serve this nation abroad and here at home and their families. We ask your blessing on all the first responders, police, fire, and EMS personnel that serve the communities throughout the United States and around the world. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dave.
Amen.
Okay, and with that, we'll go ahead and start our meeting. I'll ask the clerk to please call the order.
Councilman Ball,
Present.
Councilman Boudreau,
Here.
Councilman Marble. Here. Councilman McClement,
Here.
Supervisor Lawler.
Here. Are there any communications and petitions?
There are none.
Moving on now to item 3, the town board meeting minutes of February 2nd and the agenda meeting minutes of February 23rd have been distributed to the board. Are there any requests for corrections, additions, or deletions?
I have
Hearing
none.
none, I have a motion, please, to adopt the minutes.
So moved.
All in
Second.
fa- Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. We'll move on now to committee reports. Our first report is the supervisor's monthly financial report. The monthly cash report for the month of February. In the general account, the balance on hand as of February 1st was $5,637.17. Total receipts for the month amounted to $117,994. Transfer from the general savings account in the amount of $746,000. Transfer from the bond account in the amount of $114,338.82. Total disbursements for the month amounted to $699,605.87. Transfer for debt service payments in the month totaled $161,046.90. Transfer to the general savings account, $120,000, leaving us a balance on hand at the end of February of $3,317.22. In the general savings account, the balance on hand as of February 1st was $3,275,386.52. Total receipts for February totaled $2,019,728.51. Transfer from the general account in the amount of $120,000. Transfer to the payroll account, $200,846.62. Transfer to the general account, $764,000. Interest received on the general key savers account during the month, $64.69, leaving us a balance on hand at the end of February of $4,468,333.10. The landfill savings account, the balance on hand as of February 1st, $855.22. We received 1 cent in interest, leaving us a total balance on hand at the end of February of $855.23. The petty cash report, petty cash totaled $16.25, and that was all for postage for the town court. In the abstract report, abstracts for the month of February, audited vouchers totaled $390,213.03. Payments made in advance of audit totaled $27,120.30. Can I have a motion, please, to accept the cash report, pay the vouchers, and to reimburse petty cash?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Our next report is the Committee on let's hope not, Highway, Wastewater, Water Authority, Cemetery, and Museum. We welcome Councilman Jim Boudreau back to our formal meeting. Jim, good to have you with us. You're looking much better than the last time we saw you at this meeting. And,
It's only a Zoom illusion. I have special Zoom coverage to make me look better. It's really not true. So, but thanks.
there you go. We're glad you're back and feeling much better, Jim. So,
I have a friend of mine that works at Brenda Easton. I'm sorry, Jack, I didn't mean to cut you off. A friend of mine works at Brenda Easton's, and he always says it's better to be seen than viewed. So I'm happy to be here. For the Highway Department for the month of February, snow and ice control, they had 501 hours worked on that. Equipment maintenance 60, general maintenance 757, miscellaneous 90, garage maintenance 13. And for various other projects they've been involved with, I know Jack mentioned flood water, but there is a flood water issue here. The Highway Department did a tremendous job cleaning off the waterfront and the whole visitor center area when we had our mud earlier in the month, and they did a great job there. I didn't think they were going to get it done in a day, but they did. They did a wonderful job, and kudos to that crew that came and did that. The vac truck was used to pump out groundwater from Bells Lane Water Department valve station. The handicap sign installed on number 5 King Street. Preventative maintenance completed on all Highway Department vehicles. 2 tons of cold patch and road repair. Processed 13 dig safe requests. 270 tons of road salt were used and responded to 29 requests for service. And that report has been submitted by Tony Lewis. For the wastewater department for the month of February, 6,000 gallons of sludge to Albany County and 62,000 gallons of sludge to Saratoga County. Alarms answered were 5, phone 2, power were 3. Maintenance throughout the month, checked all pump stations and cleaned the floats as needed. Continued the maintenance of outside grounds, equipment, and vehicles. Removed the influent primary grease from primary tanks and weirs. The 18 replaced the discharge union O-ring at the Canvasback Ridge pump station. Cleaned the Front Street and Fonda Road pump stations with the vac truck. And met with salespeople from Martin, Sprocket, and Gear and came in to get prices on replacing the 6 drive gearboxes located at the primary tanks, the sludge transfer piston pumps, and our progressive cavity wasting pumps. And that report was submitted by Craig Falcone, Chief Operator. For the water commissioners for the month, Waterworks delivered approximately 30,020,000 gallons of water, or 968,000 per day. Distribution system work, staff completed dig safe utility locations and service calls during the month. In addition to calls, staff installed completed water hydrant flushing and testing, calibrated and maintained equipment, completed monthly water reading, and completed meter reading. Hydrant leaves and snow removal. Please be advised that during the winter season, any support that can be provided by the community to help clear your hydrants for emergency use would be greatly appreciated. Hopefully, we don't have to do that anymore. And a reminder that the commissioners now have a new website, and you can see it at www.waterfordwater.org. That report was submitted by Ed Hernandez. I normally don't have a report for the cemetery. I just want to remind people that the lower section of the cemetery is closed for the winter because of the road surface in there. It's not conducive to any type of traffic at all. We should try to get that open as early in April as we can. Excuse me. And also, if anybody's looking to purchase any grave sites there, April 1st, the prices do go up. That was a resolution that was passed earlier by the board. April 1st, they go up $300. And I guess that's a bargain for grave sites compared to what other places or other cemeteries are getting, but they do go up April 1st. So if anybody's looking to do and get that type of service from the town, please take advantage of it this month. The town historian, Russ has had a very busy month on his Facebook page. He's had 11,000 people reached, up 546%, and post engagements, which is 3,000, he's up 582%. Been contacted by 4 people this month, 1 native Waterfordian and 3 Waterford families who have relocated. The Waterford residents made an inquiry concerning the original Emma Willard School in Waterford, which a lot of people don't realize that was here, and may have a lead on a property that may have been an underground railway site, which would be very interesting. And he's following up on that. There's a Gloria Waldron Huckle, Massachusetts, contacted him regarding the Waldron family, aware of that family's influence on the Waterford's past, among the founding fathers and active in the community until about the 1950s. Also related or associated with the Van Ness family, Vandenberg, and Klutz. And more work on that is being done by Russ. Received a request for Collections Committee of the Waterford Museum for assistance in identifying some unlabeled canal pictures. Ann Dempsey of Vermont made contact with the museum and is researching info on the Anchor Inn restaurant and hotel in Waterford and information on that family that owned it. And Russ is able to provide a picture and other info requests. And he has 2 Zoom meetings for the newly formed Saratoga County History Center and written an article for the April presentation in their This Week in Saratoga County History program. Obviously, his submission features the town of Waterford as the town historian. So Russ has been very busy, doing a great job. And he loves that research stuff for the town of Waterford and Canal and all things thereabout. I haven't heard anything from the museum in a while. I know it's been closed, but I have not received any information from them, so I can't pass anything on. So with regrets, that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions for Jim?
Actually, I do. Hey, Jim, do you recall
Yeah.
where the Anchor Inn was?
No,
Me
I
neither.
don't. I can get back to Russ and find out. I know
Okay.
somebody's also looking, has an inquiry in about the Castor Caney Hotel, which was down on Front Street. But
On Front Street, right?
yeah, but I don't have anything here on the Anchor Inn. But I can ask Russ and maybe he can give me some information. So,
I'm shocked that either you or I haven't been there at least once.
well, yeah, you're older than me, so you may have been there.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
If I was there, I probably had fake identifications.
Yeah, probably.
All right, let's move on. Our next report is the Committee on Public Safety, Emergency Services, and our liaison to the village government. This would be our most elder councilman, Dave Ball. Dave?
Oh, low blow there, but I'm proud of it.
Had to help Jimmy out, had to help him out. He's not feeling well.
Yeah, I'll own that. I'll own that. So let me start off with just checking in on the village. Really have nothing to report of significance there other than they're making progress with the new consolidated fire department and firehouse building. And they're hoping to be in there sometime, looks like late spring at this point, judging from the outside of things. That's all I have from there. I know, Jack, this is a matter of interest. They are studying the 5G wireless thing as well. And the sense I got is they're probably going to mirror whatever the town decides to do. So just passing that along.
Hey, let me interrupt you for a moment. Just to tell, if they want anything, just go right to Ben or rather Dave wouldn't. And Dave, I think Dave has really been the guy who's led the charge on this. So if Bert does reach out to you for anything, just go right to Dave for it.
Sure. Yep. So in any event, the board received prior to tonight's meeting a report on the activities of the Waterford Police Department. Before I get into that, I just want to mention that all systems are functioning over the Waterford Rescue Squad. All equipment is currently in a good operating form. The individuals over there, the EMTs and paramedics, many of them have been trained and are certified and qualified vaccinators. And they're on standby waiting to assist whatever efforts they can as directed or determined by the county and as to the needs of our community. They're also participating in dropping off the home shut-in form, people with special needs. So whenever they go on a call or answer a call in any place, they are leaving that form behind with individuals and family members so they can help update the database on people with special needs as well, which is part of your initiative, Jack. And that information is also available on the website and Facebook. From the police department, busy month again. There were a total of 14 arrests, total of 81 traffic tickets issued. There were 12 motor vehicle accidents investigated and responded to. There was a total of 455 calls for service. In other activities of the department, all officers completed 2 hours of training, communication skills. Assistance was provided to the Saratoga County Sheriff's Office in making an arrest and an ongoing drug investigation. Also, officers also assisted Detroit PD and Cohoes PD in locating and arresting 2 subjects who had committed multiple armed robberies within their jurisdictions and assisted the New York State Patrol Services in executing a warrant for a parolee who had been wanted on a outstanding warrant for some time. The newly purchased live scan computer was received and put into service. This computer will greatly increase the efficiency of which the arrest can be fingerprinted and photographed and replace a system that was over 10 years old and was the 14th such system that was initiated in New York State. Now all agencies are working on that system. Sergeant Dilbone participated in an underage drinking forum at the Waterford Afternoon School. The forum was attended by parents and staff of the school as well. Open cases include, we have 1 child pornography investigation going on, 1 burglary active investigation, 1 vice active investigation. The police reform process continuing and on schedule, waiting for final comments on the draft, and will be prepared to communicate as directed and as required. Just reviewing the overall statistics of the department and noting some of the major issues the police department handled. We responded to 25 domestic incidences for the month. There were a total of 7 fire calls. There were a total of 37 EMS calls responded to with the rescue squad. Animal control reports and investigations, there was a total of 14. Warrants, arrests, and activities, there was a total of 6. School details, school safety details, there were a total of 11 details performed. Traffic stops, a total of 71. Field interviews were 6. Momentum alarms, there was a total of 6 reported for the month. Welfare checks, a total of 13. Disturbances investigated, 19. And assisting outside agencies, there was a total of 32 responses in interaction with outside agencies, such as the New York the Sheriff's Department, New York State Police, Detroit PD, Cohoes PD, and other agencies around the state. Unfortunately, there was 1 death investigated in the month as well. And the last part of the report contains the arrest reports on the individuals who were charged for the month. Those arrests were reported in the earlier statistics I gave, and the charges that were filed against those individuals is contained on the final page. That constitutes my remarks for the evening, Supervisor.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions for Dave? Dave, I have one question for you. The momentum alarms.
Yep.
You said there were 6. Is that a normal number?
Well, for statistic purposes, Jack, and for reporting, we just started reporting those numbers, so I have to confirm that.
And what were the nature of the alarms? Do you know, David?
That I don't have, but usually, I know typically when there's something of substantial concern up there, significance, we're usually called, yourself or I or somebody in the police department is notified. But there are a lot of alarms that go off there just for minor issues in the plant, maybe a small spill or something like that, but not a substantial nature. Typically, when there is such a thing, that the town is notified promptly, and also other agencies are also responding and participate in those investigations. So Jack, I can't comment on the nature of these specific ones, but we can investigate that and we'll include that in the future report.
Yeah, would you, Dave? I think what I want, because I don't think I'd heard that number before, that specific statistic in the past. So when you said you just started tracking it, I think it's something worth tracking. I'm just curious. So when that alarm comes in, we have a police response every time?
Yes. No, we don't have a police response. The process is the alarm comes in, we're notified, of the nature of the situation and advised relative to the necessary response. We don't necessarily go to the facility for all calls, specifically if they're minors.
So at least part of this is their agreement and obligation to call us when something happens at the plant.
That's
That
correct.
is a reportable incident of some kind. They go
Yes.
through the level 1, 2, 3, that type of thing. And
Right.
okay, so you're tracking those things.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's a process you put into place quite a while back, Jack, and it's very effective. So we're going to start noting that.
Okay. Hey,
I can comment on that if you want, Jack. It's
why don't you
Paul.
get together with Dave? I see you, Paulie, on my screen. Well, I don't see you. I see your name. But why don't you get together with Dave and, Dave can work something together up. I don't know how much we can really get in. I mean, talk to Dave about it. I don't need like a full-fledged report or anything, but I am curious how many times do the police go there in a month? That's really what I'm trying to get to.
Sure.
And how much time are we spending there?
Okay, we'll do. Well, we'll note for this month, and we'll advise you going forward.
That's great, Dave. Yep, that'll work good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions for David? If not, our next report is the Committee on Veterans Grants, Funding, our Special Projects and Seniors Liaison, Councilman Frank McClement. Frank?
Hi, good evening, everybody. Just a brief report from our seniors. Again, as we all are aware, our senior clubs and our community center has been closed due to the pandemic. But I do have a monthly report for our senior services from our driver. For our medical transportation, we continue to operate and provide transportation to seniors seeking assistance to get to medical appointments. In January, we had 9 appointments. We drove a total of 242 miles and spent a total of 23.15 hours. There were 10 cancellations. And that seems to be the norm, particularly in this environment we've been in with COVID. Usually a lot of juggling of schedules and medical appointment cancellations for seniors. And then, of course, you've got any COVID-related issues. We do still run our grocery bus every Wednesday morning. We transported 28 seniors for a total of 9 hours and 83 miles. And the grocery bus runs Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Anybody interested in utilizing those services can contact our driver, Andy Walters, at 518-527-4589. Also, our senior meals program is still in operation in partnership with the Saratoga County Office for the Aging. Home delivered meals are available for needy seniors. If anyone has a family member or a need themselves, they can certainly contact Office of the Aging. 518-884-4100 is the number at the Saratoga County Office for the Aging, and they do the coordination for the senior meals program. I do have a brief item for veterans tonight. As we all know, this has been a hot button issue, of course, with what we've all been going through, but the vaccines, okay, and vaccinations. And I just want to talk about vaccinations briefly for veterans. As you all know, I am the Director of Veteran Services for Saratoga County, and we are getting a high volume of calls from veterans inquiring about how they can get the vaccination as a veteran. And if you're familiar with any of the rules, the regulations that are currently out there right now, veterans isn't a protected class in and of itself. However, if you fall within one of the other categories, that's how you would get the vaccine. The Department of Veterans Affairs is providing the vaccine to healthcare enrolled veterans. So not just any veteran out there, you have to be enrolled in VA healthcare. They started off furnishing the vaccine for veterans 75 and older. They have recently, in the 3rd week of February, opened it up to 65 and older. And I expect that they'll continue to open it up as it becomes available. I do know that they were looking for staff to ramp up their vaccination program down at the VA in Albany. But one thing that they have said is that they've been operating on a don't call us, we'll call you program for vaccination. So they've been scrubbing their enrolled veterans and contacting those veterans directly. I will say from my experience, I don't think that that's a good plan. I think if a veteran is enrolled in VA healthcare, they should contact their primary care provider and indicate their interest in getting a vaccine, particularly if you have a comorbidity and you're not necessarily age 65. Go ahead and contact the VA. If you are a veteran and you're not enrolled in the VA healthcare system, you have two options. Go to the New York State website and go ahead and try to get an appointment as available through New York State, or we can help you get enrolled in the VA healthcare system at the Saratoga County Veterans Agency. Our number is 518-884-4115. And that number is good for any veteran who has any questions on benefits and services, but in particular, if you're looking to get enrolled in the VA healthcare system, now would be a great time to do so. You don't have to surrender your private healthcare. You can use it as a backup plan or a supplement to what you already have. But they are encouraging any veterans who are not enrolled in the VA healthcare and think they may be eligible to go ahead and apply and enroll. And we can help you do that at my office at the county. So just wanted to cover that. That's been something that's been floating around in the veteran community. A lot of questions on that. If anybody has any questions, my cell phone number is on the town website. You could call me or you could call my office. Again, 518-884-4115. And that's my report for this evening.
Thank you, Frank. Appreciate that. Any questions for Frank? If not, our next report is the Committee on Youth, Playgrounds, Pools, Festivals, Library, our School Liaison and Visitor Center Liaison, Councilwoman Lori Marble. Lori?
Thanks, Jack. I'm having some computer issues, so I'm hoping I can get through my report. I'll start with, we're gonna start accepting applications for the summer pool season for full and part-time lifeguards, as well as an assistant pool director. Lifeguards must be Red Cross certified by June 15th. Application forms can be found on the town website in the document section. They need to be returned to the supervisor's office at Town Hall. All that information will be on the town website beginning on Thursday, March 4th. We'll be following the same protocol as last year, keeping safety of our residents our main priority. I talked to the school yesterday. There is a project that the town has been asked to help with through the school called Letters for Rose. It's a project involving letters, notes, and artwork that can be left for folks living in nursing homes and long-term care facilities. There's a young girl at school, Isabella D'Ambro from Waterford Half Moon. She's heading up this chapter at the school, and we were asked to place a mailbox at the pond, which was installed last week by Tony Lubis and some guys from the highway department. It's located next to the little library up there. So people can drop these letters and notes and things off that they'll be dropping off at nursing homes, which is it's a really nice cause. There's also a box located at the library in the back. The boys varsity basketball team is doing very well and was undefeated until this past weekend. The girls varsity was sidelined over the weekend due to a member on the opposing team testing positive for COVID, so they canceled their games. There's still no spectators allowed at the games. The games are live streamed on the school website in the athletics section, and you can watch whatever games are playing. Tonight is senior night, and there are 3 seniors being recognized. Patrick Palmerville assured me that the COVID rates at the school they still remain low. Elementary is approaching the end of the 2nd trimester, which means any parent who wants to transition from virtual to in-person learning can do that if they contact the elementary school office. Their district finance meetings are held before the school board meetings at 6 p.m. with their school board meeting to follow at 7. And their dates are on the town, on their website, school website, and they also have a live link. So you can zoom in on those meetings. The library, the Letters for Rose, I've already mentioned that. The library is also participating in that project as well. They have a drop box outside of their back door. Spectrum News was supposed to have been there today to do a piece on this today. The library is holding a March Mayhem special on the book sale this month. Bags of books are on sale for 25 cents per bag, but if you bring your own bag, it's free. Limit of 2 bags per visit. The sale price is only for books, not for the AV materials or DVDs. They have added 3 hot spots to the collection, bringing the total of 6. These Wi-Fi hotspots can be checked out on your library card for 2 weeks. They have a limited inventory of both the federal and New York State income tax forms available there that you can pick up. So check out their Facebook page for the latest news in the St. Patrick's Day Make and Take craft. The library is looking forward to unveiling a new website sometime in the spring. And last but not least, my report from the Canal Visitor Center. The February report from Harbor Master Jeff Cleary. Canal Fest 2021, which was scheduled for May 15th and 16th, has been canceled due to COVID-19. Elements of Canal Fest, which is done in cooperation with the Capital Region Chamber of Commerce, will be worked into the weekly Waterford Harbor Farmers Market. The Farmers Market will begin operating three weeks earlier than in the past years, with the first day beginning Sunday, May 16th, and it will be held every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. through October. Our Independence Day celebration, July 4th, Dragon Boat Festival on August 7th, and the return of the Tugboat Roundup, September 10, 11, and 12 are all still being planned. The Federal Lock is currently scheduled to open April 1st. And as always, recruitment is underway for volunteers at the Hearst Harbor Center for 2021 navigation season. 2 and 3 hour shifts are available beginning in early May. And for more information, contact Jeff Cleary at 518-233-9123. And I think I've covered everything, Supervisor.
Thank you. Any questions for Lori? Okay, with that, we'll go on to general orders. If you would, please, Mary Shannon. Well, wait, before we do that, I've got a couple things I want to touch base on. I'm sorry, Mary Shannon. I want to remind everybody that there will be a virtual meeting on March 11th at 7 o'clock. The meeting will be conducted by the Department of Environmental Conservation and Clough Harbor Associates. The meeting is intended to be an informational meeting and a question and answer opportunity for anybody in the community, but especially for the people who live in the vicinity of the former Frederickson Cooperage, where we're going to be having that toxic environmental hazard will be cleaned up, both at the actual former Cooperage site and in the canal bed directly behind the site, and extending north and south along the canal bed for a series of several hundred yards in each direction. So there'll be more announcements about this, more promotion about it, but every opportunity that we have to get the word out is important. People have been waiting a long time for this. We started it last year about this time, as you may remember, and then we had to postpone it because of COVID. We're going to go ahead and move forward. It is going to actually get done this year. At least it appears as though it's going to. There's a substantial amount of heavy equipment on site. The contractor has already installed 4 series of 36-inch pipes, culvert pipes, to divert water where it comes in from the river into the canal, almost directly behind the museum. And they're taking the water from the canal, rerouting it directly into the river. So when they build a cofferdam on the south end of the canal, the water will still be able to go down, go back into the river, and then come back into the canal on the north end on the other side of the work zone. Tomorrow, I expect tomorrow, we will get the actual Zoom meeting link and call-in information posted on both the town website and town Facebook page. I'm confident it'll be pasted to multiple locations after that, which is a good thing because we want as many people as possible to be aware of it. And for anybody who has questions or concerns, to please attend that meeting. As I said, it's informational, to be an opportunity to ask questions at the end of the presentation. Earlier, Frank mentioned COVID vaccinations, and in the last week, we've done a couple of different things trying to help our folks in this community get vaccinated. We published the links to the sign-up sheet, provided the information so that individuals could sign up on the county website in hopes of getting a vaccination appointment. We provided the information and the material that someone would use to be able to register on a site if you have comorbidity, which would qualify you for a state vaccination at one of the state sites. And I've also have offered the Waterford Senior Center as it's called a point of POD, a pod. The building is perfect to be used as a vaccination site. It has ample parking, ample facilities. It's Wi-Fi enabled, one way in, one way out. If we wanted to do vaccinations outside, people wouldn't have to leave the car. So that I have offered that to the County Department of Public Health. I don't know if they're going to take us up on it. I can tell you that every community has offered some location in their town or village as a potential site. They probably won't all get used, but I'm hoping that ours does get selected. But in any event, I want people to know that we have put the Waterford Community Center and Senior Center into the mix and suggested that that would make a perfect location for a site. More to come on that as the county announces more locations and also announces more programs as they get access to more vaccine. Of course, all of this is dependent on having vaccine to actually use. But it does look like the supply is starting to really get into the pipeline. It looks as though in terms of getting vaccination supply, it's only going to get better from here out. So that's good news. So does anybody have any questions on that from the board? Any questions? If not, then Mary Shannon, if you would please now go into it to the general orders for the night.
Resolve that the following individuals be and they are hereby reappointed to the Capital Resource Corporation Board: John Lawler, J. Christopher Callahan, William Kutu, David Ball, and Paul McInerney.
Someone care to offer
I'll
that?
offer that.
I'll second it.
This board, it used to be the Town Industrial Development Agency, and we have made this group. There's no taxpayers' money involved. This is all money that we've collected for financing various projects in the town. We, going back some time, but we actually financed what then was the Degussa silica plant adjacent to what was then the General Electric facility, now Momentum. We also actually financed the entire dam project, the hydroelectric dam, just below the Cohoes Bridge between Cohoes and Waterford. We did that. We did several other projects. And in the process of doing that, we collected a fair amount of fee income. And we turned around and we used that fee income and we made business loans, usually small business loans, to a number of Waterford businesses. And it's all a matter of public information. So I'm not talking out of school here by mentioning any names, but some of the businesses we've lent money to include Universal Copier, Mike Ciccinelli's place on Broad Street, Burnish Pipe up on Hudson River Road, McGreevy's Restaurant on Broad Street. There's been a number of small business. Some of the loans are as small as $2,000, $3,000. Some are as much as $100,000. And we have money to lend, and we're always willing to listen to Waterford businesses who would like to take advantage of these programs. We offer very flexible repayment terms, and we try to keep the interest rates as low as possible. What's happened is as we've made these loans and as the loans have been repaid, it's given us more money to turn around and have available to make loans. This money also helps to pay for some of the economic development activity that we have in the community. I know a lot of people are always interested in who pays for the fireworks. That seems to be a question that pops up every now and then. And I can tell you it's the Community Resource Corporation that pays for the fireworks because it draws a lot of people to the community. People come to the community, they see what Waterford is about. They stop, hopefully they stop and have a meal or do a little shopping in town while they're here and get to see Waterford. It helps the property values, I think, especially in the village when we promote our beautiful waterfront. So that's what that first resolution is about. So, Mary, you want to call the roll, please?
Councilman Ball.
Aye.
Councilman Boudreau,
Yes.
Councilman Marble. Councilman McClement,
Yes.
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes. Lori, did you vote on that?
No, I didn't, I'm having computer issues, but yes.
Okay,
Okay.
just wanted to be sure.
Resolve that the town supervisor be and he is hereby authorized to sign an agreement with the Saratoga County Office for the Aging in an amount of $1,168 for the 2021 yearly nutrition agreement.
I'll offer it.
Second.
Any discussion? Call a roll, please.
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Boudreau,
Yes.
Councilman Marble,
Yes.
Councilman McClement,
Yes.
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes.
Resolve that the property known as 186 Middletown Road, tax ID number 285.16-1-48, be changed for sewer rent purposes from a 2-unit to a 1-unit, as all necessary paperwork has been submitted to the town clerk.
Offered. I'll offer it.
Second.
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Boudreau,
Yes.
Councilman Marble,
Yes.
Councilman McClement,
Yes.
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes.
Whereas the town board desires to contract for lawn maintenance and leaf removal services for the Waterford Rural Cemetery. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby calls for bid proposals in conformance with the bid specifications and notice to bidders available at the town clerk's office by calling 518-235-8282, which are to be received by the town clerk's office, 65 Broad Street, Waterford, New York, 12188, on or before the 26th day of March, 2021 at 2:00 p.m., and which will be considered publicly at the following town board meeting on April 6, 2021.
I'll offer that.
Second.
Councilman
Any
Ball,
discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead, I'm
Second.
sorry.
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Boudreau,
Yes.
Councilman Marble,
Yes.
Councilman McClement,
Yes.
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes.
Resolve that Harold Martell be and he is hereby hired as part-time aide to the highway superintendent to provide temporary administrative support at an hourly rate of $29.40 per hour to be paid in weekly installments by the supervisor without the necessity of pre-audit by the town board.
I'll offer that.
Second.
Yeah, would you take a minute, if you would, just let people know why we're bringing Harry back? He just retired 3 months ago, and here we are bringing him back.
Yes.
Take a minute just to let people know what you need to do there.
You're asking me or Mayor? Me?
You, Jim.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just the myriad of paperwork and bids that need to go out and get done in a timely manner. And there's a lot of things that come down from the county as far as, maintenance work. We have our MS4 program. I just feel it's important that Tony gets somebody that kind of got him through the paperwork, the first time through. So we get the first year done, he can set up his system and go forward. We don't anticipate Harry being in a lot. It's very limited amount of service, but it's nice that Harry's willing to come down and help Tony out, get through some of the filing issues and things that need to be done. There are a lot of things over there that need to be done in a timely manner, and missing him would be a problem. So,
Great, thanks, Jim.
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Boudreau,
yes.
Councilman Marble,
Yes.
Councilman McClement,
Yes.
Supervisor Lawler. Resolved that the town supervisor be and he is hereby authorized to sign a contract with Canada Sweepers in an amount of $6,000 for street sweeping for 2021.
I'll offer that.
Second.
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Boudreau,
Yes.
Councilman Marble,
Yes.
Councilman McClement,
Yes.
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes.
Resolved that the town supervisor be, and he is hereby authorized to sign a contract with Old Saratoga Associates LLC for pollution control at the Sugarloaf Pond for algae control and pondweed control for the 2021 season at a cost of $4,200.
I'll offer that.
second,
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Boudreau,
Yes.
Councilman Marble,
yes,
Councilman McClement,
yes,
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes.
Resolved that the supervisor be, and he is hereby authorized to sign a contract with Mountaintop Portable Toilets LLC for the 2021 season.
Offered by me.
second,
second,
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Woodrow,
Yes.
Councilman Marble,
yes,
Councilman McClement,
yes,
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes.
Resolved that the supervisor be, and he is hereby authorized to sign a contract with True Green Commercial in an amount of $443.40 for weed control at Clement Park and $4,957.86 for treatments of the ball fields at the Middletown Road Ball Field Complex for 2021.
Offered.
Second.
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Boudreau,
Yes.
Councilman Marble,
yes,
Councilman McClement,
yes,
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes.
Resolved that the supervisor be, and he is hereby authorized to sign a contract with Wild Goose Chase for the year 2021.
I'll offer that again.
second,
Second.
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Boudreau,
Yes.
Councilman Marble,
yes,
Councilman McClement,
yes,
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes.
Mayor, if I can interrupt for a second, that Jack, back to your question about why Harry's coming in. Resolution items D through 11 were all things that have to be done in a timely manner, contract signed the appropriate time so that these things get done when we need them get done. So that kind of explains quite a bit right there too as well. So.
Yep.
Sorry, Mayor.
That's all right. Whereas the town of Waterford is desirous of entering into a master license agreement with Selco Partnership doing business as Verizon Wireless to permit the deployment of small wireless facilities within the town's public rights of way. Whereas town law requires that a public hearing be conducted before the execution of an agreement. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby calls for a public hearing to be held on April 6, 2021 at 7:00 p.m. to be held virtually using Zoom, a web conferencing platform. In parentheses, link to be posted on town website and town Facebook page that will allow access to live stream public hearing and will also provide a phone number to call in using video only, end parentheses, at which time the public may comment on the content of the proposed agreement, a copy of which is available by contacting the town clerk's office, by visiting the Town of Waterford website, or by accessing the link posted on the town's Facebook page.
Offer that.
Second.
second,
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Boudreau,
Yes.
Councilman Marble,
yes,
Councilman McClement,
yes,
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes.
Whereas the town board desires to continue to provide services to its citizens at reasonable cost and expense, and to make sure that the cost of certain services are allocated to the persons utilizing same to fairly and equitably distribute said costs. Whereas the town board has commissioned a review of the existing fee schedule previously adopted by resolution of this board. Whereas the town planning director, code enforcement officer, and planning board director have recommended the adoption of a revised fee schedule. Now therefore it be resolved that the annexed fee schedule is hereby adopted as the official fee schedule of the town of Waterford.
Offered.
Second.
second,
And I want to take a second and I want to thank our new building inspector, Ben Aiken, and our planning director, Dave Wooden, who put an awful lot of work into surveying what other municipalities charge, making sure that our rates and fees were consistent with what other communities are charging. So my thanks to the both of you for getting this job done and bringing this to the table. It's something that's long overdue.
Thank you.
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Boudreau,
Yes.
Councilman Marble,
Yes.
Councilman McClement,
Yes.
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes.
Whereas the town of Waterford adopted a local law establishing a registry for vacant buildings and property maintenance requirements for lots containing a vacant building on January 5th, 2021. And whereas a fee schedule was established and presented to the town board for review. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Waterford hereby adopts the town of Waterford vacant building registry fee schedule.
Offered.
Second,
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Boudreau,
yes.
Councilman Marble,
Yes.
Councilman McClement,
Yes.
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes, and my thanks to those same two individuals who worked on this project as well. People who abandon a building in the community, they do a disservice to their neighbors, they do a disservice to the community, and they also create, eventually, if a building is abandoned long enough, it creates an unsafe condition in the community. And so by assessing a fee, we're hoping that we'll have fewer abandoned buildings and that people will make the effort to get their property in good order, and whether they rent it or live in it, but that it returns to a useful condition, and we reduce the number of vacant buildings in the community, in the town. This does not apply to the village, by the way. This is a town ordinance. And I think, Ben and Dave, we had, what were you thinking, 15, 17 buildings in that area? That will immediately go on this registry, and we'll start working with those owners to let them know that there is a fee involved, but more importantly, to encourage them to get the properties habitable and to make them a productive part of our community. So my thanks to you two guys for that project as well. Mayor, we walked through all the resolutions. We have anything else that you're aware of?
We do have one resolution and other business.
I don't have I have a resolution for executive session, but before we go to that, does anybody else on the town board have any questions or comments?
We have a resolution under other business, Jack. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, we do. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we
My
do.
apologies, Jim. Right. Yeah, we do. We have a resolution under other business that it's a late starter. So it didn't make the written agenda. And why don't you go ahead, Mary? You have the resolution, I believe?
I do, yes.
Okay.
Resolved that Cameron Gardner be and he is hereby appointed as highway foreman with a 6-month probationary period at a salary of $23.50 per hour to be paid in weekly installments by the supervisor without the necessity of pre-audit by the town board.
Offered.
Go ahead, Jim.
Second.
And so if you follow the logic here, it's really pretty simple. Harry Martell retired. The current foreman at that time, Tony Lubis, has been promoted to be the new highway superintendent. That opens up the foreman's job that Tony had previously held. And Jim, do you want to speak to the process or anything you want to add to that?
Well, I'm very happy with the way everything turned out. Not that I'm disappointed at when we had Harry, but I'm really happy with the way things are turned out. I think we got a couple of really capable people over there. I think we've gotten a lot younger in our thought process and more creative in how we do things. And I'm really happy with the two guys and working with them. I look forward to working with them and moving forward. So very happy with how it worked out.
That's great. And congratulations to Cam on this well-deserved promotion. So
Yep.
You want to call a roll on that, Mayor?
Councilman Ball,
Yes.
Councilman Boudreau,
Yes.
Councilman Marble,
Yes.
Councilman McClement,
Yes.
Supervisor Lawler.
Yes. And let me ask again, does any other board member have anything that they want to bring forward?
I have done it.
Mayor, do you have anything, or Don Boyajian, anything you want to bring forward?
All set here.
Okay. Under other business, we're also going to have a motion to adjourn to an executive session. The executive session will be discuss personnel policies. And basically what I want to do is we want to codify and adopt a formal COVID employment policy. Right now, we haven't had a lot of instances where we've had to look at what the law required in terms of COVID. However, it looks like COVID may be around for a while, even after we're all vaccinated. It looks like COVID's going to be here to stay, not unlike the flu, and hopefully it won't mutate into something worse than what it already was. But we wanted basically to have a structured policy. And so I need to chat with the board about that because it's an employment practice. So we're going to go to executive session to chat about that. And there won't be any action taken tonight on that. We won't be adopting anything. There'll be no resolutions when we come out of executive session. But before we do that, Russ, I'd like to unmute all the lines now, and anyone who has any questions, comments, anybody who would like to say anything, ask any questions, we'll open up the floor.
I have a question.
Sure, I just need your name and address, please.
Quincy Renee, 40 2nd Street.
Hello, Quincy.
Hello. Is the wild goose what it sounds like?
I'm sorry, would you say that question again?
You were hiring somebody to chase wild geese?
Yes, we are.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't a name of a company.
It is the name of the company.
Oh,
And
well, yes.
What they do, Quincy, and actually, if you have an opportunity to go up and watch this, it's pretty entertaining.
Well, this is up at the pond, right?
Yeah, he goes up to the pound and the dog chases the geese around. And then when they land, the dog chases them some more. And eventually the geese leave. And if the dog shows up enough, some of the geese, I won't say all of the geese, but many of the geese choose not to return. And that makes for a much more healthy
Environment, yes.
for people to enjoy the pond, for people to fish. Geese are pretty messy birds, and people enjoy walking around the pond, and so we found that this is a way. It doesn't hurt the geese, but it gets rid of the geese. And we've actually used this gentleman, oh my gosh, I'm going to say at least 10 years now. So great question, and by all means, anybody who hasn't seen that, it's pretty entertaining to watch the dog chase the geese over and over again.
Jack, we also use them down the waterfront.
Yeah, we do use it down the waterfront. Yeah. Yep.
And Garrett's.
And Garrett Field.
And
Yeah.
Garrett Field as well, yeah.
Yep. Quincy, did I answer your question okay?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good. What else do we have, folks? Who else has a question or a comment? Russ, can you unmute everybody can unmute their mic if they want to?
Yes, they can.
Okay, Pat. All right, thank you, Pat. And so anybody if your microphone is muted, you can unmute yourself if you want to ask a question or make any kind of a comment.
I went through everybody and said ask to unmute, and nobody unmuted other than.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, well, I'm assuming that anybody who wants to ask a question can unmute their mic. And if there are no more questions, then I would like to have a motion, please, to adjourn to executive session.
So move.
Mary Shannon, would you be good enough to stay on for this, please? I know usually you don't stay for executive sessions, but I want to just have somebody there to record the time in and out. And you may have some thoughts on this as well. I think it would be good to get your thoughts. Don Boyajian, the town attorney, you're more than welcome to stay if you like. Entirely up to you. You never tell your attorney he can't stay for an executive session unless you want to fire the executive, unless you're firing the attorney, then you go ahead and do that, but that's not the case tonight. So with that, can I have a motion, please, to adjourn to executive session?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second.
We're going to go ahead and disconnect all the callers because it is an executive session. But I thank you all for taking the time to be here tonight, and please stay safe. Spread the word about that public meeting that's coming up. March 11th, 7 o'clock, virtual meeting. Look for the information on the website or the town Facebook page, hopefully tomorrow. Thank you all. Appreciate you being here tonight.
Have a good night, everybody.
Okay.
Do you want me to record this, Jack, or just get off?
You don't have to, Pat, you're welcome to stay. I don't care. Both you and Rush can stay. I don't really care. But I don't care if you record it. You don't have to, whatever's easier for you. Doesn't, in fact, don't record it if you don't mind. Executive
Okay,
session.
I'll
gonna
stop
sign
the
off?
recording.